Hey guys, Golden here. Welcome to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. So I finally hit Diamond. I spent yesterday climbing the ladder trying to get into Diamond after not doing so much climbing, just playing around with a lot of decks throughout this month. But finally made it to Diamond, and today I wanted to showcase the deck that I did it with. It's not a new deck. I played it and I showcased it once before, and I used it last season also to get through Platinum. And it's one of my favorites. It's not a popular one, but it's one that is very fun on the ladder. And it's something that I'm surprised isn't being played more. I don't see it at all on the ladder anymore. Last set, we saw it a lot more, and it's the Golgari Aggro deck. So if you haven't played Golgari Aggro before, it's basically a tempo deck. If we have a tempo deck in Magic, I would say this is the definition of that. It's aggro, but it also has a lot more high value plays, and a lot of the times you want to get ahead with just your larger creatures, your card draw engines, and big finishers like that. So before I start, I want to apologize. I haven't come out with a video in a little bit like this. Just with everything going on, work has been a little bit crazy, but I'm going to try to do my best to get some good content out for you guys and add a little bit of happiness to you guys' life. And if you're super bored and you're stuck at home, like I know some of you are, then at least you got something to do. Watch me talk about Magic for 45 minutes. All right, let's get into the deck. So I played this deck, one of my first decks I showcased on the channel. Like I said, Golgari Aggro, but with adventure synergy to enhance our card draw engines and to give the deck a lot of staying power. This was a deck that I believe Piotr Golgari played in one of the Mythic Invitationals or one of the Mythic Championships. I could be wrong on that, but with a couple tweaks that I made when the new set came out. The main drivers of this deck is Edgewalling Keeper. This card with adventure creatures allows card draw early, allows you to get ahead early in card advantage, and with an aggro deck, it's very important that you don't run out of steam, and this is how that deck does that. The other main card draw engine is Great Henge, where later in the game, if you get this on the board, not only does it gain you life, which is very good against other aggro decks, but it draws a card and pumps your creatures up. Very, very good card, and we have other cards in the deck that synergize very well with it and allow you to get it down very early. The two main ones are Rotting Regisaur, big boy, 7/6. When you can get this down on 3, and then your Great Henge only costs 2 mana at that point, which is extremely cheap. On 4, you can then combo out stuff. Great Henge gives you 2 mana as well, so it's a great play on turn 4 if you have a questing beast in your hand. If you have any other creatures in your hand, you can start to snowball the game really quickly there. And also a 7/6 body on 3 isn't too bad either. I mean, this is a huge aggro threat even without comboing with the Great Henge, and allows you a lot of times to put something on the board that if they can't answer with target removal or a sweeper, and you're playing against another mid-range or another aggro deck, this deck is going to just crush it with Regisaur. We also have Lovestruck Beast. So Lovestruck Beast on 3 allows a 4 mana Great Henge on 4, and also is a big body that against other aggro decks they usually can't get by, and adds a huge threat against mid-range and control decks that they have to answer, or else it's going to do a ton of damage early, and allows you to get them on the back foot where they can't recover and you can beat them. Everything else around it is just to enhance our tempo game. Foulmire Knight and Edgewalling Keeper is good combo for that early card advantage. Like I said, Order of Midnight can recur stuff. Also is a flyer, so it can fly over the mid-range decks to do damage, and combo with Edgewalling Keeper to draw cards. Murderous Rider, premium removal that kind of fell out of favor during this set with some of the decks that are going. It's not great against mono red because of the 2 life, but the life link is really good. So if you can just drop this as a life linker, it synergizes with the Innkeeper as well. You can put a threat on the board as well. A lot of people are opting to go with removal that doesn't deal 2 damage to you, but Murderous Rider is still a very good card, and I think it's something that is underplayed right now for sure, and something that we should be seeing more in the meta that people just have kind of forgotten about in a lot of decks. In this deck, you have to have it. Thrashing Brontodon, running this in the main board. Obviously, there's a ton of artifacts and enchantments. Could even be pumped up a little bit. That's something you could put more Thrashing Brontodons for sure if there's another card that you don't have. It's something that is pretty much good against everything. And it's a 3/4 body, great blocker, adds an aggro threat, and deals with enchantments and artifacts. So very good card there. Questing Beast adds that extra aggression, also gets past 2 or less power creatures, which is good. And then my little addition to the deck is Yarok's Fenlurker and Grey Merchant of Asphodel. So this just, in that game 1 especially, gives you that late game, like that finisher. And Yarok's Fenlurker is one of the things that really fuels Grey Merchant's damage. So that's why those are in there. Now, a lot of times, if you're not on the play, you're going to take this out. Probably both Grey Merchant and Yarok to sideboard in some of your situational cards. And if you're against something, against a control deck, you're actually probably going to take this out. It has the best use in the mid-range matchups, and Grey Merchant can also have good use against some of the aggro matchups, although it is a little bit slow, so you do need to be careful with that. If you have an extra spot to put it in there, it's not bad because it has a good body and it gains you life, but especially on the draw, it can be a little bit of a liability. But I enjoy it, and I think it is good in game 1, and it can be that surprise factor and that you need. And as I was playing it yesterday, there was a couple game 1s that I won with Grey Merchant that if I wouldn't have had that, I probably would have lost the game. So I like it. Play around with it. See what you think. If you want to keep it in there, go ahead. If you want to take it out, you can put in some more Thrashing Brontodons, maybe another Order of Midnight, stuff like that. But I think it's something that's worth having. All right, so let's move on to the sideboard. A lot of people have the conception that aggro decks are easy to play. And I am a firm believer that that is not true. Honestly, control decks to me are easier to play. And I'm not just saying I'm good at control decks. I'm not necessarily good at control decks, but the decisions you make in control decks seem a little bit more straightforward. I feel like they have the perception that they're harder to play because games drag out longer. And so it can be a little bit more taxing to play a 35-minute, 40-minute match. I feel like it gets that perception because it can, by the end of the game, you're like, oh man, that was a tough game because I just sat here for 40 minutes playing it. But realistically, the decisions you make in an aggro matchup matter a whole lot more a lot of times. On a control matchup, it's like, okay, I think I need to wipe the board or I die, so it's not that hard of a decision. But in an aggro matchup, it's do I commit to the board? And more importantly, what do we sideboard in? Because a lot of times, you can sideboard a lot of different ways, and you don't have a lot of things that you want to really take out because you don't want to lower that aggression too much. And the sideboard is very important. So I'm going to get to the sideboard. I try to keep a pretty straightforward sideboard, but there are some specific things here that are good in specific matchups. So Midnight Reaper, anything with sweepers, anything with a ton of removal, control decks, Midnight Reaper is an all-star. Shifting Ceratops, anything with blue, again, all-star. Those two are very good in the control type matchups for sure. Or just anything with blue with the Ceratops, but specifically the control type matchups, very, very good. Duress, honestly, I don't put it in that much against the control because unless it's something where they have a specific, like adventures, it's going in because you want to hit those specific cards. Against the Jund Sacrifice or any of the Rakdos Sacrifice decks, you put in there because you want to try to hit like the Witch's Oven or something like that on turn 1. But otherwise, Duress, I kind of leave those Duress and Agonizing Remorse out against the control decks because I want to go faster. We want to just be quicker. We want to put in the Ceratops, maybe a Casualties of War. But mostly Ceratops is the play, and then the situational cards. If you're against like Sultai, you're going to put in Noxious Grasp. If you're against, again, Sultai or any of the mid-range that has a bigger creature, put Epic Downfall. But a lot of times you want to be careful with Duress and Agonizing Remorse, especially if you're on the play. Get those out of there so you can be fast. And if you're on the draw, you might want to put some in so that way you can, if you're going to be on the back foot, you might be able to hit a Teferi with Duress or hit a Teferi with Agonizing Remorse one turn ahead, so that way you can kind of kill their resources and hopefully win in the mid to late game. So here's the deck. That's the sideboard. Any questions, put them in the comments below. I'm going to put a link to the first time I played this in the comments also, or in the description, so that way if you can see some more gameplay with this. I did make a couple tweaks, really. It was on the sideboard, added in Agonizing Remorse, and I lowered the Gray Merchant a little bit, but they were minor tweaks, and just to kind of enhance the matchups from what I've seen lately. But if you want to see some more gameplay with it, it's going to be down there as well. It was one of my first videos, so it's not as smooth as I am now, because I'm so smooth. Not really, I'm just kidding. But there were some good matchups there too. So enjoy the gameplay. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you later. All right, Juan, what you got for me? Liking his avatar. It's a good choice. All right, we don't have enough lands here. We're going to have to mulligan that. We also don't have super good early plays. We have the Foulmire Knight, but we want to get... that's good. Lovestruck Beast is a good thing to have in your opening hand. Obviously, Edgewall Wingkeeper is another solid keep. Something we're looking for. If you can get Rotting Regisaur into... into pretty much anything, especially if you're on the play, that's a good thing. You're looking for Regisaurs. Okay, we're gonna drop one of the, let's see, Castle Lochthwain is tapped, unfortunately. Don't want to drop that though, it's one of our better cards. Okay, so we're gonna turn one Forest, allow us to put down the 1/1. Turn 2 will scry. We probably want another land here, an untapped source. Okay, there we go. So that makes it so that we don't have to... Okay, we're going to do it this way. Because both of these being tapped is a problem. We want to obviously curve out. We want to do 3 and 4. So turn 2, we're actually going to do the Temple and try to scry for another untapped land. So against mono red here. We don't have a bad matchup against mono red. We're gonna keep that. That will give us value later if we survive. So we don't have a bad matchup against mono red. These Lovestruck Beasts are really hard for them to get around. We have the Thrashing Brontodon, which can deal with Embercleave. That's damage going at creatures, not face, so that's good. Get that big boy in the way. That's another big boy. That is definitely another big boy. You have to be careful dropping Regisaur a little early though, because you are going to have to discard cards. And none of these cards I really want to discard. So I'm tempted to just drop the Thrashing Brontodon. Could put the Beast down, but I want to get value off him. And if I keep it, I can Edgewall Wingkeeper into the Lovestruck Beast. So I'm going to put that down now. So it being on the board during an Embercleave turn will help as well, because we can just sack it right away. Now, he might have... I doubt he has like a Lava Coil or anything in his main board, but he could combo something out. Okay, so we're stalling him out pretty bad. So I'm just going to get some value off the Innkeeper. A lot of times you want to get value, especially when you're against something that has burn or you know it has removal. Yeah, so he made a mistake not shocking that right away, because I was able to get the card draw off of it. And now, with the Great Henge, that gives us healing. and it's discounted right now. So we do want to keep mana open. We got to be careful how we tap. So we can pay. I think it's worth paying. Let me see. Do this, we get 2 mana. So either way, no. So I'm doing math here. Regisaur has 2 extra attack, so it discounts the Great Henge down to 2. The Great Henge is going to give us 2 green mana, and we want to at least have 1 mana. So if we do this first, and then we pay for the Henge, we'll have 2 mana open. Whereas if we do this, then we'll have the 2 mana from the Great Henge and 1 that we pay for, so we can't do both and still have mana. So it's better to do this. But we have to make sure we do it right because we need 2 green mana. So we need to tap this first. Do that. Pay 2 for that. Drop the Great Henge. Okay, so we lose out on a card there, but we gain the mana to activate Thrashing Brontodon if he decides to Embercleave. Okay, he does not. But luckily, we can still activate that and gain 2 life. So we gain that life back that we paid for the land. Unfortunately, we do have to discard, but I'm going to discard the Regisaur. Okay, we get another land, which is fine. I'm going to start off with Questing Beast. It allows us to draw a card off of that. Great. I could drop it, but it's worth taking out one of his cards. I'm going to take out... yeah, I mean, I think... Wait, let's cancel. Let's attack first. And see what he decides to block with. Very important also that this gets +1/+1 counter from the Great Henge. So he doesn't really have a very favorable block here. We also, once we get Murderous Rider on the board, will... Okay, let's see. So anyways, what I was going to say is once we get this down, we have the lifelink. And it's going to get a +1/+1 counter, so it's going to be a 3/4. We have the extra mana open to activate this. I think I'm going to wait until his turn to destroy anything. Just because... he's gonna have Embercleave mana anyways, so there's not a huge reason to do it now. If he had 1 less creature or something, I would probably do it main phase to make sure he can't attack to discount Embercleave, but he definitely had it. So now what happens is if he targets one of his creatures with Embercleave, we can use Murderous Rider to kill it. Okay, that's good, because we're just going to take out Torbrand as soon as he attacks. Okay, he decides not to, so we're just going to take out Torbrand now. Nothing to discard. We get a Fabled Passage. We're going to drop this first. I just want to see what we draw here. Another Murderous Rider. Alright, so... I am going to drop the land, even though sometimes you do want to keep that land as discard fodder for the Rotting Regisaur, but we are almost certainly going to use this Murderous Rider for like almost 100%. And so we won't discard it for sure. We're definitely the aggressor here now, which is good. Don't know what he really has to come back from this. We have too many things that can just wreck him. We're We're gaining life from the Great Henge. Murderous Rider's going to kill something. Thrashing Bronodon to take out Embercleave. He just doesn't really have many options. Okay, so we have 4 black. 4 black is fine. We're going to get more green. A lot of times black is what you need, especially with the Murderous Riders. And Great Henge giving us green. So in this case, I'm just going to take out one of the Bone Crushers. I take 2 damage, but it's not a big deal at this point. If I have no use for the mana, will usually hit the Great Henge right away. Alright, we take game 1. I'll usually hit the Great Henge right away because you don't want to forget about it. It happens a lot. More than I would like to admit. I'm going to put an Epic Downfall. That's probably it. Could put in Duresses now that we're on the draw to try to take out the Embercleaves early. And the Shocks. He's definitely running Shocks. He's going to keep the Shocks. He might put in the Red Cap melee. I would imagine if he has Lava Coil, that's going to come in. Their sideboard, luckily for us, is probably not geared towards this. It's probably geared towards a lot of other matchups. A lot of people aren't really expecting this type of stuff. We're not straight aggro because we're more of like a tempo build. So a lot of the removal won't work against us, at least not efficiently. And we don't have the colors that a lot of people are used to seeing. Obviously, green removal would be the best, and black removal, but all right. So I'm gonna take out the Gray Merchants and the Yaroks. A lot of times these go hand in hand. Game 1, it's good to have in. I think it gives you a little bit extra dimension that people don't expect, and it's good against mid-range and on the play where you might need that extra finisher. But on the draw against mono red, I don't think it's necessarily what we need. Yarok's Fenlurker doesn't really... I mean, it trades into some of their 1/1s, but it's not that effective. I am going to put in 2 Duresses. We'll put one of them back in. We'll put... No, we don't want to draw that, really. It's going to be too late by that time, so we're going to put one of these in. Alright, game 2. We're on the draw now. Although, actually, I think we were on the draw last game, too. We were going to draw in game 1. We just came back. Lovestruck Beast, one of the best. Okay, so we have a Regisaur, which gets in the way. We don't have black mana right away, but it doesn't really matter. A lot of times, especially against burn decks, you don't want to put Edgewall and Keeper at turn 1 when you have both of them. You want to put them both down on turn 2, just to make sure that they don't plan to kill it. That could change, we'll see. I mean, if he has Bone Crusher Giant, he may opt to do it main phase. Okay, he doesn't, so we're fine. Obviously, we're still not in a good position. He got a pretty good start here. But once we get Regisaur and Questing Beast down, I'm hoping that's going to be enough to just get in his way. So that can happen. It's nice to get green on turn 1, then swamp on turn 2. We didn't have the swamp, obviously, but if you have 2 Edgewall Keepers, it's probably okay to play out the first one turn 1 if you can get more value second turn. A lot of times it does die, though. A lot of times it will die. So just like that, a lot of times they will be able to take it out quickly. Not taking too much damage yet. Okay, so we're just going to drop the Regisaur. We have lands that we can afford to discard, and we have the Innkeeper, which will restock our hand. We'll see what we draw, though. I may halt at 4 lands. Just so we have lands to discard to the Regisaur. what that last card is. It's probably Embercleave because it's always Embercleave. Get the double black, keep that. Okay. Not in a great spot. Embercleave is a big problem here. And it's almost certainly going down. I can Questing Beast, but I can't really attack because of Bone Crusher Giant. I can Edgewall Keeper and wait for Murderous Rider. If it's an Embercleave, I can Murderous Rider whatever he Embercleaves. I think that's what I'm going to choose to do. Alright, so that's the game plan. We'll wait until he equips an Embercleave. And we'll kill whatever it is. If he doesn't have Embercleave, that's fine too, honestly, because we do have... Okay. We do have a 7/6 on the board and Death Toucher. Both of which are pretty good. Okay, land. That's good. Questing Beast. That's really bad. We gotta take those out. Let's see if he... Okay, so we gotta take that out. And we're gonna take that out. 4, 5, 6, 7. We're taking 7 damage. But that's okay. Okay, Embercleave comes down. See what he targets. Okay, he does target that. That's kind of not what I wanted. I was hoping he would target this so I could at least kill 2 things. Maybe it would have been worth then doing the Embercleave, but I didn't want to risk him then pulling mana off of Bone Crusher Giant or pulling mana off of Steamkin if he targeted this to then play Questing Beast. So we didn't have... I think that was still the best choice. Oh, actually, he couldn't have floated the mana because he would have went into his next phase and lost the mana, so that's fine. Now we're not out of the woods by any means here, obviously. I mean, look at the board he has. He has a Questing Beast there. I really can't take this out. I kind of need to empty my hand, which I will at least be able to kind of do. But we're still in a little bit of trouble. Alright, so we're going to drop the Foulmire Knight. Perfect. Let's see. Do I have to put the Murderous Rider down? No, the life gain is probably going to negate itself, so we're just going to do this. Okay. Hopefully he bricked that, and that's a land. Ugh, that is the absolute worst draw. Absolute worst draw we could have had. Ah, shit. Alright. Okay, so it's 4, tramples through for 2, and then have to do that, and we have to do that. So he's doing right now 4 damage. Nope, he can't win. Alright, that was super unlucky. If he would have drawn pretty much anything in his deck except for Torbran, we had a shot, but Torbran just beat us. Okay, I'm gonna take the Duresses out. We're on the play now. I'm gonna put one of the Gray Merchants back in. Put both of them back in. Go like that. This isn't great. Could get a lot worse though, so we're gonna do it. Alright, it got a lot better. I don't want to take any excess damage, so we'll just save the Order of Midnight. Put down another Foulmire Knight. Regisaur is good. Lovestruck Beast is better. We're just gonna get that down. Gets the big body on the board. And stops us from having to put down the Regisaur and discard other cards. Right now we just want big things in the way. That's big things in the way is all we want. Big fatties. Looking for fatties. It would be a wonderful thing to get another green source to get that questing beast down. Don't know if it's going to happen though. But we shall see. Okay, he's building that up. I mean, double Regisaur is hard to ignore. I mean, he probably has an Embercleave. Don't know if it matters though. We're just gonna go in. Stick one fatty down. Oh no, he's Torbran. Okay. I would imagine he's just gonna pull the mana off of that. I don't think a trade is in his best interest right now. Oh. That happened. Turns out Torbran's pretty good. Oh, he's going in. That's a lot of damage. Can we win? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have... So he will have to block with Torbran. No, he can't. Yeah, he will have to block the Lovestruck. Or so we'll have to lose Torbran. Let me think. Okay, so he'll have to lose Torbran. He'll attack back in with this. We'll have Lovestruck Beast, or Questing Beast rather, as a blocker. So it doesn't matter either way, so we have to put this down. Now it just matters whether we attack or not. If we don't attack, we have to trade everything in anyways. And that's assuming he doesn't have an Embercleave. I think it's our only option. And he's gonna have to block the Lovestruck. I mean, I would imagine he's gonna block the Lovestruck Beast. So, Embercleave, that wins too. Damn it, I think it was our only chance though. Actually, we may not have even had a chance. So, we take game one, he takes the next two. I mean, really, Torbran, he got lucky with Torbran. Alright, Arc. be playing first. Okay, Innkeeper, Foulmire Knight. Can't go wrong. But I am going to be careful because I don't want this to die before I get any value off of it. So we're going to Innkeeper turn 2 with the Foulmire Knight. So we're not going to be able to put 2 Foulmire Knights down in turn 2 because we're not going to get to double black because we have to put the green down for the Innkeeper and we don't have any dual lands. So it's worth saving it to make sure we get the value. If we had a dual land, we may opt to I'm actually gonna it doesn't matter. I'm actually gonna do that. If we had a dual land, there would be an argument to put down the Innkeeper turn 1, so that way we could actually get 2 cards off of it turn 2, but it's still a risk because if he shocks it, then we just kind of lose it. So we go here. We get a card off of it. And now if he doesn't have an answer for it, then it starts to snowball. Okay, so Lovestruck Beast is tough for us. I mean, we have... Ooh, this is going to be adventure on adventure. Okay, we are going to just put down the Lovestruck Beast. We still get the card. That's fine. We're going to want to start being aggressive here. Normally I would wait a little bit for Regisaur, but I think just based on this matchup here, we need to get it down next turn. Because we want to put pressure on him. We're lucky though, he doesn't have 3rd mana. So that's even more reason to just start slamming stuff on the board. So this is interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the merchant. Okay, well we ended up getting the mana for it anyways. Let's see what he decides to do. Alright, that's fine. He finally reaches his 3rd mana source. Alright. Yeah. Not a great game there, but hopefully game 2 is a little bit better. Okay, so we know what we're against. Obviously, All-Stars against the Clover deck is Thrashing Brontodon. We also want the Duresses. We're also going to want the Agonizing Remorses. That's one of the reasons I have that in there, is this is one of the matchups it's good against. Everything else is situational. I think Noxious Grasp is good, but it hits their green, like the Lovestruck Beast and the Edgewall Innkeepers. So I think it makes it good enough. Shifting Ceratops is an interesting one here because they obviously have things like Brazen Borrower. So I'm going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to take out the Grey Merchants. It's not that great. Take out the Yaroks. Not that great. And we're going to take out Order of Midnight. So now I'm just deciding whether it's worth putting the Noxious Grasps in to get rid of Lovestruck Beast. But what do I take out if I do that? I don't have very many good choices. It would pretty much have to be Shifting Ceratops. We already have 4 Murderous Riders now. I think that's fine. It's really just that one card, Lovestruck Beast, that we would be using with that. And obviously Edgewall Innkeeper, but we have our own Innkeeper, so he's not going to get that ahead unless he gets the Clover down. This isn't great. We have turn 1 Duress. No, I'm not going to keep that. This is better. What do we want to drop? I'm going to drop the Questing Beast. Just because it's the most expensive here. We have things that we can do now. I can go 1, 2, 3. It's good to have that there. Yeah, I have a turn 2 play. Nothing really right now to use with this. If he uses a stomp on this, that's fine. It stops him from being able to, yeah, it stops him from being able to either drop Clover this turn or combo Clover with stomp. Okay, I have the Murderous Rider, so there's a big reason to just get rid of the Brazen Borrower or Beanstalk Giant. Getting rid of the Borrower. Okay, so that buys so at least him doing that slows some aggression. Put the Venusaur down. I think I probably should have put the Overgrown Tomb down that turn just to make sure I had my black mana that I needed. Because I have to discard a card now, and I think Overgrown Tomb is going to be that card. That's bad. We're in a bad spot. We're in a very bad spot. Okay. We no longer... Wait, I'm not going to speak to... Okay, we no longer need to discard that. So that's kind of what I was hoping for. That was best case. He was either going to do that or he was just going to chump it with the 1/1. So I'm glad he chose to sacrifice his Lovestruck Beast. So we get our Lovestruck Beast down. We have a Murderous Rider in hand, which can get rid of... probably the Bone Crusher Giant. Although that Edgewall Innkeeper's given him a lot of value. I might get rid of the Innkeeper. Yeah, I gotta get rid of that Innkeeper. Shit. Thank God for Fabled Passage. Cool. We get our damage in. He has aggression too, though. But it gives us a chance. Now, like, if we drew something like the Great Henge, we're in okay shape. We wouldn't necessarily be able to play the Murderous Rider out, but at least we can then get a source of value. See, maybe I'll let this through. Sure. Put it on top. That's a big boy. It's a big old giant. Can't attack now, so we're in a little bit of a trouble here. Okie dokie. Stomp. Love Shark Beast. Okay. Not sure if he considered that double block. I know I make that mistake sometimes. If that was the case, that gives us a card draw, so it's not so bad. Okay, let me think about this. If I trade, I don't think I do. I think I do this. Here, if we do this, we take 5. No, I'm not taking anything. Just gonna do that. Preserves our life to draw. Okay, he draws a Clover. That's awful. But we are gonna just draw a card here. It's a Regisaur, and we're just going to drop the Regisaur. Just going to attack. Gains us 2 life, so even if he attacks with those, it pretty much did its duty there. Ooh, 2 Clovers! I really hope he doesn't draw an adventure card. That would not be the greatest thing in the world. Go to 7. We draw a card. Oh, Great Henge is what we want. I love you, Great Henge. Alright. Let's start chaining some stuff. Let's go. Come on. Get lucky. Get lucky. Get lucky. Resolve. Poop. That's not what we wanted. Yeah, the only problem with the Great Henge, and I guess I should have, I guess that was actually a mistake. I got too excited. I should have dropped the Foulmire Knight first and forego the card draw. It could have went either way. If I would have just chained together creatures, then that was the right choice. But the Great Henge putting the 1/1 counter on the Foulmire Knight makes it so I can't attack with the Lovestruck Beast. So that's not great. Don't have anything to use this mana for, so before I forget, I'm going to do that because I don't want to die. We have blockers now. Oh, that's 6 damage. Oh, did he go face with one of them? Did he go face? Please tell me he went face. Oh, Lord. Okay, good. He had to. He had no choice. He didn't have a choice. That is awesome. That scared me for a second. That scared me. I thought that was the end. The end is nigh. Come on, we need to draw a creature, like, real bad. Come on. Yeah, that's a creature. That is definitely a creature. Come on. Yeah. Oh, I can't cast it. Shoot. Damn it. Should have paid a little bit more attention to what I was doing there. Come on. Whose top decks are better? Okay. Mine. Yes! Got him! That was stress. That was stressful. That was extremely stressful, but we got it, so that's good. Dolphoon. Playing as Elspeth. Okay, so we have... So this isn't perfect. Obviously, Grey Merchant doesn't synergize with anything else in our hand. But Lovestruck Beast and Great Henge go very well together because turn 3 Lovestruck Beast leads to a turn 4 Great Henge. But if we draw into lands, this can get pretty bad. We do have the Scry, turn 1, Castle Lockman. I'm going to keep this because even though we have a lot of lands, well, I am going to instantly regret that because we're going against mono red. Alright, we're going to start out with Temple, Scry to anything except for a land, and pray for our life. Oh, he got one of his own. He probably won't be able to use that. It's too expensive. We are going to just get the 1/1 token down. Go in tapped. Turn 3 Lovestruck Beast. Turn 4 Great Henge. Great Henge will allow us to start drawing cards. Unfortunately, Yarok does not synergize with the Great Henge, but it will synergize with Grey Merchant if we get to that point. The problem is, it is looking extremely unlikely that we're going to get to that point. Yeah, we kept a really bad hand against mono red. But we'll see. That's okay, I guess. I mean, that's pretty good. Let's get the big boy down. We're already at 13, so let's see if we can survive this. Take out the robber. Well, I'm hoping, since he did just basically sacrifice the Robber of the Rich, again, I'm assuming, I don't know what he would have there. I mean, he took my Fenlurker. I'm assuming he maybe doesn't have any playable cards. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a respite. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I actually am going to get rid of the Grey Merchant. Okay, we're going to put down the Great Henge. I just to explain, I dumped the Grey Merchant because Yarok's Fenlurker will draw us a card off the Great Henge, which just makes it inherently better. It'll also cost him a card, which is good. Ooh, this is gonna hurt. He's gonna lose one if he attacks, though, and we do at least gain some life. Okay, so let's see if he spreads the love. He does. Okay. does not have Embercleave, which is a wonderful thing. Okay, we will actually, I'm probably not going to use the Murderous Rider. I'm just gonna leave the Murderous Rider open. We'll leave the Murderous Rider open. It might get loud. My wife just got home, and my dog is gonna freak out. I'm gonna try to mute this a little bit, and apologize in advance. Alright, thank God for editing. Alright, so he can't Embercleave unless he has another land. So I hope that's the case. I'm not sure what's going on here, but yeah, resolve. Alright. Gonna get rid of one of these. Go to 9. Take out his whole board and basically just win. So just gonna drop that. Drop that. Drop that. Unfortunately, it's not a one. Okay, so we take game 1. And there's not a lot of things we really change against mono red. We could put in the duress and hope to hit Embercleave, but that's the only thing we really hit. Epic Downfall's our only real inclusion, and we're gonna take out the. I think we take out the Order of Midnight. We'll just. It's a hard one. We're gonna leave one in, and we'll just go like that. That's fine. Really, we win against mono red when we get all of our big creatures on the board. So that's kind of our game plan, is hope to try to get an opening hand. Yeah, so this is obviously not what we want. This is better, although we need black mana, but if we can hit a black mana source, we have Lovestruck Beast going down, we have Rotting Regisaur, Epic Downfall, so this is a lot better. I am going to drop one of the Regisaurs. Oh, that's not too shabby. Not going to put it down yet. Try to bait out a shock or a stomp on this 1/1. Turn 2, we're going to put down the Edgewall Innkeeper, and we really just need to hit that third mana source. Okay, Steam King goes down instead. We do get our mana. We're going to put the Innkeeper down this turn. Yeah, he's not gonna take the trade, and he's not gonna, and I'm not gonna trade the Innkeeper anyways, so. Okay, double Steam King can become a huge problem here. He could possibly unload his entire hand next turn. back a little bit. But luckily we do go right into Questing Beast, which is an... Oh, Phoenix. Okay. Could be worse. He still can't attack with those. I'm kind of hoping for a Murder Strider, so we can take out one of these Team Kids. Don't get it. The Questing Beast down. Gotta get the pressure on. Hopefully we can race him. It's not easy to race mono red, but we have big creatures now, and he's kind of limited with what he can attack with. So if he attacks with both Steamkins... Okay. I would imagine... okay. Unfortunately, we don't have Epic Downfall open, but it will be good. So if he decides not to attack with the Steam Kits and just unloads the board, at least we can exile the Anax. And we have the mana to both exile Anax and Rotting Regisaur, but we will have to take 2 damage to do it. Okay. That is a huge Anax. Is that if that's Embercleave, we pretty much lost. You just don't win against that. I mean, let's be real. Double Steamkin, I didn't have any removal, and then he just unloaded his hand. If he has an Embercleave also, then he is pretty lucky. It seems like a Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, no light up stage. That's not much better. Holy damn. Okay, well, this happened. I don't think we can win. Let's do this. At least he only gets 1/1/1. He can't pull the mana to do anything, so he'll only get 1/1 out of this. But I mean, look at that board. I don't lose the Questing Beast, so that was really the only favorable trade we had. And I'll take it, I guess. We still have a chance. Okay, we don't have to take damage now. I still don't think no. Okay, so we're going to Epic Downfall, Anax. That will exile it. Brontodon might... No, we're just going to put down the Regisaur. He might just have lethal here already. I haven't really done the math, but I think I have to just try. Yeah, because he can pump everything up. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can block out a lot. Okay, he's just going for it. He probably has an Embercleave anyways, so that probably doesn't matter. Because, I mean, that's just life. Alright, we go here. We lose the Innkeeper, but we win on the kickback. But let's be real. He has an Embercleave. We actually don't win. Because of the Regis Sword block, we don't win. That was kind of a mistake. I should have switched those. If he has... Well, we do. He has to have an Embercleave, or else we win. Stonecrusher do it? No, I don't think so. Yes! We get him. Take down mono red. Perfect. Perfect. All right, we take 2 straight in a row. We lost the first one against mono red, but redemption on game 3. So I like this deck. This deck got me all the way through platinum, and I'm gonna try to use it to get all the way through diamond as well. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you like the deck. It's one of my favorites, and I'll see you next time.